Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Jessie, and welcome back to another episode of Rewire to Inspire. This show where we'll dive into self-love, learn tangible ways to rewire the brain, and discovering your soul's purpose. The goal of Rewire to Inspire is to encourage listeners to begin doing the hard work, to get curious and open to maximizing your life. Our mindset shapes how we live. Depending on life events, traumas, and personal experiences, our mindsets are all vastly different. However, one thing we all have in common is the ability to rewire our mind, to change the narrative, and to pivot our lives. I hope you leave each episode with the belief that you are so worthy to live a life true to you. I look forward to chatting with you every single Tuesday and Thursday and helping you grow exponentially in all areas of your life. Without further ado, here's today's episode. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of Rewire to Inspire. I am your host, Jessie Brown, and I am super excited to be jumping on the microphone with you all for episode number 101. I hope you guys enjoyed my latest episode where we celebrated 100 episodes of Rewire to Inspire, where we chatted about 7 benefits of consistency. So if you haven't checked out that episode yet, I highly recommend. It was definitely one of my most exciting episodes to record as we crossed a big milestone. So thank you guys so much as well for all the love that you guys have been sending me, all the shares, the feedback. It's just honestly been an amazing week of celebrating Rewire to Inspire and planning out the next 100 episodes and where it is that we want to go from here. And so I definitely want to make a promise to you guys that we are going to have some guests on the podcast moving forward. I am ready to dive into going on other podcasts and having other folks come on here to share from their experiences and their learnings so that I can help you guys elevate your life to the next level beyond just from my stories and from learning from other people. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But nonetheless, I'm so excited to dive into number 101. And today we're going to be chatting about the permission to feel sad, permission to just feel down in the dumps, permission to feel off, permission to feel just, this is really to feel all your emotions across the board. But for some reason, feeling sad is the one that I feel holds the most shame, right? If we think about it, there's so many days that I feel like sad or off or down. And my instant emotion is to just feel kind of angry that I feel sad. I don't want to feel that way. I want to suppress it. I want to pretend like I'm okay. I want to just, be smiley all the time and try to be positive. But I'm realizing that that doesn't serve anybody. And I'm not practicing what I preach, which is to feel your emotions and know that all of our emotions serve a purpose or we wouldn't have them in the first place. But the reason that I felt pulled to come on here is because for the last month, I would say for the month of February, and this isn't anything new for me or even like statistically across the board, I feel like February is a month where we typically feel kind of blah, like we feel meh. Like December is such a high month, right? We're just so excited. The New Year's is coming. We have, if you celebrate Christmas, and we have time off usually, and we're spending more time with family and with friends, and we kind of just get to turn off work mode and go into relaxation mode. And then we dwindle into January where we are setting these big goals and we're getting ourselves all hyped up and we're feeling so good. And then February comes and it's kind of like that awkward phase between winter and summer where it's still cold, it's still winter, but there's not really anything to look forward to. And it's just a really groggy month across the board. And so I'm noticing that I've been feeling this big time. I've been getting out of bed in the morning and normally I like to, jump out of bed and be excited and go about my day and start my things. And I just haven't been feeling that. And even at work, I've had a couple coworkers ask me like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know if I am, but I don't really know if I can tell you what the problem is, which in and of itself can be a really frustrating thing, right? When we feel off or we feel just not ourselves, but we don't really know why, we can start to get really self-sabotagey and angry with ourselves, when in reality, every emotion that we feel, we must know serves a purpose or we wouldn't be feeling it. We don't just feel emotions and feel things just for the sake of feeling them. There's something beneath that needs tended to, needs validation, it needs love, it needs to be seen. But if we just suppress it and want to pretend that it doesn't exist, aka my goal of today's episode, permission to feel our emotions, we're not able to heal it and to tend to it. And so I know for myself, I was beating myself up big time for feeling like this. I was just in a really toxic headspace for a couple weeks, and I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. It felt impossible even to record my episodes, which is why I was glad that I had kind of bulk recorded some, because I was just not in a good headspace to deliver my true self. And I'm like, what am I needing right now? What is it that I need? And I'm someone who does practice meditation every day. It is my sacred place for myself to just come back to my body, come back to my heart, to come back to my soul. And I identify my higher self. I call her Hummingbird. She is my higher self. If you are not spiritual, you are probably sitting there going, you are crazy, but that is okay. My God, my higher self, my universe, her name is Hummingbird. That's who I talk to. That's who I communicate to. And as I was meditating one day, she was just communicating with me that you must go through this. You must go through this phase. You must feel what you need to feel, and you need to feel it thoroughly, and you have to feel it fully in order to heal this. And so I knew there was a part of me that is like, yes, it's February, it's a harder month, and I think that, again, statistically across the board, we feel like that. But I also feel like this is a season right now for a lot of us where we're in like a transition phase where we don't really identify with our old world very much. And we're kind of embarking on a new journey, but a lot of us don't really know what that is. At least that's what I'm gathering from a lot of people that I've been talking to. And basically we call this like a lonely land. And this is something I learned from Next Level University. We have our old world and then our new world, but we have that like sloppy middle before we get to our new world, which is lonely land. And it's typically in lonely land where we feel sad, we feel down, we feel isolated, we feel confused, we feel hurt. We're just blah. And Hummingbird was communicating with me, hey, like, Jess, you got to go through this. You have to feel this, and you have to bring awareness to feeling this way and tap into what that might be. And so some things that kept coming up for me is, practice yoga more. Come back to your breath work. Come back to using your Shakti mat and regulating your nervous system. Come back to eating regularly. Stop eating processed foods and make your own foods. Start canning stuff like you've been saying that you want to do. Start making sourdough like you say you've been wanting to do. And I was just getting all these downloads of information of things that I've been putting off for literally no reason. You know how sometimes we just put things off and we don't really know why we put them off. We just don't take action and do them. I think that also pours into why we start to feel a certain type of ways, because we're not holding ourselves accountable to the things that our intuition and our higher self is communicating with us to do. Like, A, go to the gym, A, drink more water, A, eat healthier, A, get rid of that toxic friend, right? We know the things deep down that we know we should be doing, but we have such a hard time following through with them. And so there was just a big part of me that was like, you need to go through this. And again, my goal of today is to know that we're not meant to just feel high emotions. We're not meant to just feel happy all the time. And one thing that also kept coming up for me is, whoever said that sadness is a negative thing? Why does being sad have to be a negative thing? I don't really know where that comes from, of happy equals positive, sad equals negative. Because what does that really mean? That basically is teaching us that if we're not just happy all the time, we are negative. We are being negative, and we should not be that. And so we don't have permission to feel that, which in retrospect actually causes us to feel happy less, because we have to ride the waves of our emotions. And as we know, what goes up must come down. What is positive, there must be negative. There is yin, there is yang. There is two sides to every coin. But if we are looking at our emotions with just a one-sided lens, we're really doing ourselves the biggest disadvantage. And so another thing that came up is, on our Next Level University, we have team huddles every single Wednesday. And I've just been noticing that this is a theme and I love that we feel safe in that space on our team huddles to like say, hey, I'm feeling really crummy. I'm feeling like shit. Like, I'm just not feeling it right now. And we kind of just all listen and validate and just are in that space together. And it's so beautiful that we're able to express that. But I can always see like the resistance in all of us to be open and honest about how we're truly feeling. Because I think a lot of us have also been hardwired to not feel like we're putting our emotions on other people. We feel like if we're sad and we say that, we're bringing somebody else down. And I think that that's something that we as a globe need to do a better job at, of saying, hey, like, it's okay if you're not okay. I notice so often, you go to a store and you go to the cashier, whoever it is, and they say, "How's it going?" And you say, "Good, you?" And they say, "Good." And that's it. And half the time when I say good, internally, I'm like, "No, you're not. Like, this was the crappiest day ever." And yet you sit there and you go, "I'm good." Like, do you realize, like, I hope that this is just putting little, like, aha moments in your guys' head of, oh my gosh, like, why is sadness so negative in our brains? Why is it we have such a hard time voicing our true feelings? Why is it we just pretend to be okay all the time? And I'm not saying, like, dump your emotions on the cashier at the grocery store, but I'm saying, why is it our go-to to just say good? It's almost like that has been a script since the beginning of time that serves nobody. It really plays nothing other than shows respect of communicating with that person. But it's like anytime someone says that they're not good or like, meh, whatever, or I'm all right, it's like we don't know how to respond because we're not expecting it. We don't expect for people to tell us that they're not okay. And so, again, my goal today is to learn that it is through the ups and the downs that brings us closer to the parts of ourselves that need attention, that needs validation, that needs love. Going through these feelings while maintaining balance and harmony is what is crucial. So again, like identifying that for all of us. It is through those times that truly do make us stronger. So I want you guys to think of a time in your life where you've had maybe a phase or a longer phase where you've just felt down in the dumps. Maybe you went through something hard. Maybe it was a breakup. Maybe it was a move. Maybe it was, you lost a job. Maybe there was debt going on. Maybe there's a death in the family. Like just across the board, there's often times of our life that we can identify as having been harder times of our lives. I know exactly what it's like to not know where to turn, to feel alone, helpless, and stuck. My goal as a coach is to help clients from a trauma-informed perspective see your worth and develop self-belief so you may chase your dreams and trust your intuition to live the most aligned, fulfilling life possible. If you're looking to elevate your life to the next level but aren't sure where to start, I would absolutely love to connect. If you're feeling pulled or curious, please use the link in the show notes below to book your free call. I look forward to connecting and supporting you on your own unique journey. And in those times, it almost feels impossible to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We feel like this is just going to be our reality forever. We can't think past that. But in those moments, we're not supposed to go to the happy. We're supposed to feel our emotions because that's how we heal them. Can you imagine if we lost a family member and we just were happy the whole time and we never felt sad and we never had the permission to feel sad or to feel angry or to feel upset or to feel whatever emotions are coming up? We would never heal. That is why we are meant to feel all of our emotions. But why is it that we have such a hard time feeling sad? And so I wanted to share a story with you guys, and I've shared this story with you guys multiple times, but I guess it was a year and a half ago when I moved from Alberta and I moved to New Brunswick. I was at such a low point of my life. I had left a 3-year relationship. I had left a job that I loved but was burning me out. I left my apartment that I loved. My other dog ended up going with my ex-partner, which was one of the hardest things and still honestly kind of pulls on my heartstrings to talk about it. I can feel myself getting a little emotional. And it was just a really hard phase of my life because that was, again, me going from an old world to a new world. And in that lonely land, I felt so isolated. I didn't talk to anybody about this. I was completely by myself. My therapy had ended because I was moving, and I did it all by myself. And I look back and I'm like, holy smokes, girlfriend, you just needed permission. Permission to know that it's okay to feel sad right now. Permission to know that this isn't supposed to maybe be a fun phase of your life, but it's something, again, that you have to go through. And maybe right now listening, you are in that phase. Maybe if you're feeling that way right now, it's because you're meant to. This is meant to teach you something. This is meant to heal something for you. This is meant to bring awareness to maybe something or things that you've suppressed for a long time. The thing is our emotions are like a hydraulic press. And every time we suppress and we suppress and we suppress, eventually there's going to be so much pressure it has nowhere to go but to explode. Our emotions are the exact same. If you have suppressed your childhood trauma, if you have suppressed hard breakups, high school drama, friendships, any kind of hurt and pain in our life, the more that we suppress it, the more that it's eventually going to come out and it's going to feel like a volcano erupting. But we have to be willing to know that it's okay to feel that. It's okay to go through those phases of our life. And in fact, those phases of our life are typically the things that give us the greatest lessons. Because if I didn't go through that job that had burnt me out, I wouldn't have learned a lot about trauma and trauma healing and domestic violence and, healing from sexual violence and all those things and how the brain works and how trauma is stored in the brain and the body. I wouldn't have learned and found that I had such a passion for that had I not gone through that. I wouldn't have learned my non-negotiables in a relationship had I not gone through one of my hardest breakups of my life. Right? It just allows you to appreciate the things you do have and gives you lessons. But if we don't have, or take the time to look at it from that lens of what can I learn from this? What did I learn from this? Because I guarantee you that if you're going through that phase right now of your life, you're likely learning a lesson, but it's also very permission giving to look at it from that lens of, okay, what am I going to learn by going through this? What can I learn by going through this? I have been taking away, I need to spend more time in my yoga practice. I started a 30-day journey. I've completed day 3 today. I'm feeling so much better, so much more in my body, so much more in flow. The sadness is definitely still there, but it's a little less. It's a little bit less. And again, it comes in waves and that's okay. I'm learning that I want to dip into growing more of my own food. So I bought an herb grower and that's been amazing. I bought a thing to grow sprouts and I noticed this morning the sprouts have sprouted. So it's super exciting. I got the stuff to make a sourdough starter kit. So that's starting. It's like I'm starting to pour into all these things that Hummingbird, my higher self, my intuition is telling me to do. And I'm just feeling so much better about it. And so you listening right now, I want you to ask yourself and pause, how have you been feeling lately? And don't judge what comes up. Just honor it. Listen to it. See what it is. Feel it and feel it fully. Honor that for yourself. Do you want to suppress it? Do you associate that feeling with being a bad thing? Do you want to just ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist? And can you take whatever it is that's coming up and know that it is a part of your journey? You will eventually look back on this time, even if it's in 2 months from now, and go, oh girl, it's okay. Like you were just meant to feel that. Another thing that I think is maybe permission giving at this time of year is we are pretty much one of the only species that does not hibernate in the winter, meaning we actually need more rest. We have less sunlight. We are supposed to operate with the sun. That is why clocks are designed the way that they are and time going back and forward is designed that way, is because we are meant to be in flow and in a cycle with the sunshine. And when the sun is not up, that is actually designed to be rest time. But we don't operate that way because that wouldn't be feasible for most of us. It definitely wouldn't be for me because I do most of my work outside of my 9 to 5 at nighttime. But we need to know that that is actually what's ingrained into us from thousands of years ago. They didn't do their work when it was pitch dark out because that would mean danger. You wouldn't be able to see predators. You wouldn't be able to see those things. And so we're now at a time where everything that we do, we don't really pay attention to the seasons around us and what we're supposed to learn from the environment, what we're supposed to learn from the universe during that time. And I don't want today's episode to come across as just like woo-woo-ness. This is like statistically science, evidence-based stuff. And that is why we typically feel more depressed in the winter and we have sad, right? Seasonal depression in the winter is because we're lacking that sunlight. And so you guys listening right now, I just want you to know that you have the permission to feel sad. You have the permission to take more rest during this time. You have permission to tend to yourself, to check in with yourself, to honor what it is that's coming up, and to feel that fully. I know it can be hard depending on our relationship with self and depending on, our upbringing and our childhood and just where we're at. I know it can be hard, but I know that the one thing that I needed when I checked in with Hummingbird and with my higher self is, Jess, you need permission. You need permission to just feel this and know that you're supposed to. And I felt so pulled. That is typically where I get my podcast ideas from, is communicating with my higher self of what is it that the world is needing to hear right now? What is it that's missing? What is it that we're just needing? And the word permission is honestly my word for 2023 because it just allows us to not judge ourselves and to not hold shame, but instead to just go through it and know that it's something we're meant to go through. So you listening right now, I am so, so proud of you. I see you. I hear you. I want to connect with you if that's something you're feeling pulled to do. I have 2 spots left in my coaching program. I might have actually just filled one. I'm getting quite a few inquiries about it, and I'm feeling super pulled to do it. So if you're interested in coaching with me, I am offering 3 months absolutely free, 1 hour bi-weekly, where we will just jump on, we will connect. There is no charge for the first 3 months, and then we will dive into what that can look like. But my goal as a coach is to bring a trauma-informed perspective to help you, especially during these seasons. I have a coach that I work with for about 2 hours a week, roughly, but I'm also looking into getting a therapist because we all need someone to talk to. Coaches need coaches, therapists need therapists, and all humans need someone that we can talk to, that we can heal with. It is a never-ending journey cycle. We might think that we've gone to therapy before, so we don't have to go again. But the thing is we always need someone, you guys. We always need someone to vent to let things out to in a safe, confidential space where we can get the tools to better our lives. So thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 101. I know today was a little bit heavier of an episode, but I'm hoping that you just take this and run with it and know that whatever it is you're feeling, know that it's okay to feel that. We have to eventually be willing to conquer through and try to do little things to get out of the rut. So I encourage you to ask yourself what it is that you might be needing. But I think that the first step is just knowing that you're allowed to feel your feelings, whatever it is that they are, and feeling them fully. And don't allow anybody to tell you that you can't, because you are so deserving of that. So thank you guys so much as always. All the love, you guys, from my heart to yours. Giving you guys the biggest virtual hug if you guys are watching video. The biggest hug from myself to you. I look forward to chatting with you all next episode. Bye, you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's episode of Rewire to Inspire. I absolutely love connecting with you all, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am at Jessie Brown 13. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a review or share with someone you think would enjoy. I look forward to chatting with you all next episode. And remember, get out of your head and into your heart.